knew how to turn it off, which makes me assume they didn't know how to turn it on either.
Right. They just,
Nobody's, seems like an on-off button would be nice.
right,
Just
it seems like an obvious, I always forget, is line on
Up.
or?
Up is on.
Up is on, yes, line is on, circle is
O
off.
is off
Yes,
instead of on.
yes,
Makes perfect sense.
yes, I'm glad we clarified the O. On or off, it's one of those two. Oh, let me know when you're ready.
Give me 1 minute here.
Sitting at home eating bonbons? Figured, last couple months? Nothing going on?
Yeah, I took Ryder up to baseball practice. I thought was at 6.
Okay,
I dropped him off. Was gonna come here, and then realized practice wasn't until 6:30, so I had to stay around.
well, pretty soon he'll have sidewalks, you could just walk there.
You know?
Wow.
All right, I'm good.
All right, call to order at 6:03. Attendance roll call. Carolyn,
Here?
Sandra,
Here.
Dwight is excused. Mark,
Here.
Adam here, Cheryl.
Here.
All right. Approval of the agenda. Does anyone have anything to add to the agenda?
Nope.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted. I'll make that motion. Can I get a second?
Second?
All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're gonna table approval of the minutes. Dwight took those both, I believe, so we do not have them, but we will table that for, what month is it? For May. All right, any disclosure of conflicts of interest? All right, we don't have a public comment. We are moving right along here.
Jeez, I can't keep.
Because
my
you haven't
fingers
taken
out.
notes
I
only
seriously
once a year.
got all out of shape.
How many words per minute? You have the words per minute reader on there?
Need to get AI doing this stuff.
Talk to it.
Yeah. All right, Upton, old business, Upton Road Park site. We're gonna skip that because Beth is usually a Ben question. So we will move that. That's just a standing item as well. So let's just move that to May. We'll keep it there. I think that
So
we have.
table until May.
Yeah, I mean, it's a standing one, but I think that we've got enough going on with the Bath Fest and other things that thinking about trying to start a park, or deciding what to do with that park is a lower priority than that, than Bath Fest. All right, Bath Summer Festival, so Bath Fest, update. So you, yeah, you've got one, right? This is the sponsorship packet. Sandra worked a ton on it, so thank you for doing that. So there's just sort of a what is Bath Days on the front. The second page is the different levels, and what is included in them. So some is advertising, I mean, it's all advertising, but some is like in the program and on social media, and then each one that goes up, they get more items involved in there, more advertising. Then we have singles, event sponsors, so like if someone wanted to sponsor the car show, if someone wanted to sponsor the cornhole tournament, someone wants to sponsor a bounce house or houses, and if someone wants to sponsor the tub races, so we've got dollar amounts tied to those. And then on the last page would be the form that they turn in, the address is on the front for where they turn it in. And then they can select what they're doing, fill out the form, so we have their contact information. And then the first one on there, we wanted to make sure under the sponsorship level is just to like, if you wanna give $10, like, there you go. If you wanna give, not one of those amounts, just, we wanted to, if someone wanted to give less than 100, or somewhere in between, that they could enter that amount and, submit it. So the plan is to have, Karen review this. Once it's reviewed, print them, make sure that we get them into some of your hands who volunteered to go talk to different businesses, and then get it up electronically on on the township website so that people can download it there, print copies to have here. And then Sandra has a social media post ready to go for, Taylor as soon as we can have the link to the website so that people can get it electronically that way.
Nice.
Any questions?
So we're just waiting for Karen to give like thumbs up and then she'll print out, like, will she contact us to come pick up some to take to
I
places?
I
or-
think we'll let you know, yeah,
Oh, okay.
Taylor, I think we'll ask Taylor to
Okay.
print them and then just let us know. We were thinking, we have 75 or 72, something like that, businesses on that
Yeah.
sheet that we went through, so we thought we'd start with 100. We'd give them out and, or come up and pick them up here and then have like a stack here as well,
Okay,
so.
And there will be a link on the township website to access it there too.
Yeah.
okay.
I think the important thing for everyone to be very, very, very aware of, don't touch any money. Like, the money comes, like, if someone tries to give you a check, tell them no, like, they can mail it to the township, which is the address here, they can drop it.
It does kinda say in that bottom paragraph too, to make the checks and to turn them in here, so.
Yeah,
Okay, so we don't take forms or payment, where they just send them in here? to-
yeah,
Yep,
Karen was
okay.
very clear, like, for anything, like, not just sponsorship and anything in general, we should not be touching
If it-
money.
Even if like a family contacts you and says, I wanna donate
Yeah.
to the festival,
Tell them just to come up here.
send them
Okay.
here.
Yeah, and Karen doesn't touch any money, it's just like let's,
Yep.
let's just avoid it in general.
Okay.
So, yeah, so they can mail it, the big thing, or the important thing, if you are talking to them specifically, like to let them know, it says it in the last one there, but make it, in the memo, if they're gonna write a check, put Bath Fest sponsorship, so that there's not just like a
Yeah.
check that shows up
Goes
here
there.
and it's like, alright, I guess that must be
We
a
didn't get any
general
money.
fund, yeah, so, yeah, so that is the fundraising stuff.
Do we have any idea the last time that this was held, how much they got from sponsorships?
And we know total, did it cost, I believe, they said around 30, was that where they had said? But that was a big chunk of it was fireworks,
Yeah,
and so we are, and bigger in general than we're planning, so.
I do have this has like my notes on it from our last meeting. It does kinda give you like a rundown of like our potential sponsors.
Do we know who sponsored tub races ever?
I don't know if anyone ever did, or, I mean, they
So,
must
like,
have.
Are we
at
gonna
some
have
point.
the
Potential
cops and the
sponsors that we all
firemen?
wanna talk to.
Let we have that again,
Yeah,
cause that was a blast. when
Yeah,
the
as
fire
long as they
trucks
want
came.
And then like
Yes.
an estimated
Well,
timeframe
which was some arms,
of everything for the whole weekend.
especially when they washed
Some food
everybody down with
trucks.
the.
The ones that we
Yeah.
have a name next to is the ones that we wanna try to get here. And then the continuing of the time frame, and then possible fundraising if
Most
we
people
need
know
to do
that it's gonna
fundraising.
happen, do you think?
So I can,
I
you can
think
look at that if
so,
you want
and
That's
to.
okay, that's good, yeah, thank you.
now,
That's great.
yeah, so Cheryl was asking, do most people know it's gonna happen? I think from the first sort of announcement, yes, and now we have 4 or 5
What's that?
different Facebook posts to
Oh,
be able
yeah.
to like kind of time out so that people, I think there's gonna be like announcement with the dates, the first one.
There's gonna be an
There's
announcement, the second one I think is gonna be the wanting sponsors or needing sponsors.
Tub race.
Tub races. And I think the car show,
Yeah, that's right, yep, so,
just cause those are like kind of the main ones that people
Right.
are gonna wanna get stuff ready for.
so Mark, you weren't here when we were talking, and it was before the meeting anyway, so we should say it, that Sandra and I feel like we both had a full month, we'll say, the last month, and so like we put time towards this, but not like, we both are sort of feeling we're getting to a point in like work life and life that we can start to put some more time to this. It feels like mine, at least towards the end of this week, will start to feel a little, see some light at the end of the tunnel here.
I did reach out to, I've been talking back and forth all day with, Game Day Apparel that's located here in Bath. They work with the soccer club a lot for their uniforms. They are interested in doing the yard signs and banners that we'll use for the sponsors. he's in the process of coming up with prices to send to me on what that would cost.
Who is
Like
that again?
Game Day, I think it's,
Game day custom apparel.
yeah, Game Day, I always forget the custom in there.
Does he I'm sorry to, off subject, but does he do flags? Because we're trying to get the Legion to get sponsors
I
for.
think so. I know I live right around the corner from him. He used to have, a Bath Bee flag on his flagpole. So I'm assuming so.
Okay. Game day.
Custom apparel.
And they're right on Ann Drive,
Yep.
right when you go, you turn right and then that first corner where you go
Okay.
around
'Cause
towards
that, we're trying to
Gary.
get something going with the Legion for parades, and it kind of fits here a little bit.
Yep,
And support the Legion, and the Legion will get sponsors, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe even involve them in the Bath days.
I know we wanna talk to the Legion, or I think you were talking to the Legion for the beer tent.
Yes.
Yeah.
like an after hours, since,
Yep.
because now that it's a township project, we can't have a beer tent. It's not allowable, so, which makes sense, right, but,
Yeah.
so trying to still have that be part of the festival, but just sort of be an after hours party type.
At
Type
the
thing.
Legion?
Yeah,
That's
I-
what you're saying, oh,
yeah.
great,
Yeah.
very friendly group there.
James, we wanted to check in with you. I know you sent an email about that, so that sounds great. I think you were saying by May 1st.
Yeah, see, that gives them plenty of time.
Yeah, that gives us, so that gives us plenty of time. So we're also doing a 5K. And so for that, besides us saying like, yep, that makes sense, let's go for it, what do you need from us? Or do you wanna have a separate time to get together, sort of to figure out like what all needs to happen day of, or like how do we get bibs out, like that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we could meet separate. I'll go over my notes, and then when we come together, I'll have something together that we can
Cool.
confirm and put together.
Yeah, and then if we need to get or want to get, like any high schoolers to volunteer, cause they have volunteer hours, we can figure that out. That they're required to get.
Yeah, I definitely think we're gonna need volunteers.
Okay.
And also I wanna talk with, Roger, the cross-country coach. I know he said his, students might wanna participate or help out as well, so.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, that's kind of like, I know when we do the Williamston 4-on-4 soccer tournament, most of the referees are like Williamston high school players or that, so that's always good to involve them that way. So.
Yeah, and they know the course too, so yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yes. Yes. In terms of that, this is my next question, for course-wise, and I feel like we have a lot of, feels like we have a lot of time, it's gonna go fast, I know, but for that, do you need us to talk to, the school or anything, or since you're talking with Roger, do you feel like that is,
I feel I can make that connection. I just wanna get the go-ahead from.
okay, if
From the
you're good to
group
do
and-
that and make sure like we can use the course, like we're approved for that, if you are good with that, that'd be great.
Yes, will do. And if I come in any hiccups, I'll let you know.
Awesome.
Is that a specific day?
Saturday morning, we said, right?
Yes.
Yep. And we'll figure out time-wise in terms, they're usually early.
Yeah.
In general, but,
Yeah.
oh. Cool. Alright, other updates? I'm working either late this week or early next week on contacting so there's a place out of Perry that has bounce houses, dunk tank, and
The
mini
miniature
golf.
Yeah.
Yeah, like portable mini golf, I think they have 9 holes, so you can do
Yeah.
3, 6, or 9, we figured we might as well do 9. Because I know they used to have that at Bath Days in general. And then, I think the other big one besides the car show is craft show.
Yeah.
And so what we were thinking about is using the farmer's market, kind of template for the vendor form or application and just modifying that a little bit to be appropriate, or be, appropriate for this. Change the dates, change the title, that kind of thing on that. And I know we've helped create it, I know I have a Word document that I can edit in terms of that. and then talking with police and fire about, blocking roads for the parade, so that would be the other one.
Yeah, I spoke to Christy a week or two ago from the police department. She was just asking like basic questions on like dates and stuff so she can mark it on their calendar to block that weekend. She said once the new chief of police gets settled in, that he'll reach out and work with us and figure out what we all need from them.
Okay, great.
So,
Yeah, and then and what they need from us in terms of figuring out how many people they
Yeah.
want. I'm sure, my assumption is they'll be patrolling some and that kind of
Yeah.
thing, so.
Yeah, so I'm just waiting for him to get settled and I know he was just sworn in last
Yeah,
week, so
Monday.
Yeah,
Yep.
just waiting for him to reach out.
cool. Alright, so I would say, I think that as soon as this gets approved, you know, doing sponsorship push will be a big one. Once we finalize budget, going to the board of trustees and asking, but I need to get on like what's the cost of the bounce houses and all that kind of stuff and get a quote for that. And then we can go and ask, give an ask to the board of trustees, which they are expecting from us at some point here, so.
Have they sort of, like, loosely approved an amount?
No, they were like, how much, like, when we were talking about this, they were like, what do you think? And I was like, we were like, we don't wanna say, like, we don't know because we hadn't
Yeah,
done a
right,
budget in that, so.
I think there's a mental support for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
I get that feeling.
yeah,
So we
so,
don't have to worry about like, we've kind of announced that this festival's gonna happen, and then we go to the board of trustees and they say, no, we're not giving you the money.
I don't think we have to worry about
Okay,
that.
that's what I was
Yes.
asking.
I will go ballistic if it happens. I promise.
Yes. And it will be a reason, you know, it'll be budget dependent, but will also be, you know, it's not like we're going in and asking for a lot.
Right.
You know, so. So then I think once we sort of get to that point, then there may be some asks, from all of you. Not that you have to say yes, but some asks of how do you wanna be involved, or if you wanna be involved, and what that involvement looks like. But I think we've got a little bit more groundwork to do before we get to that point. Sandra, anything else that you can think of?
I wanted to add on to your asking of the board. I know I'm about 95% sure we'll be able to sign, off on credits that seniors
Oh, yeah.
at the high school need to graduate. So if you guys know of any seniors, maybe you could put a little bug in their ear. See if they would be interested in that weekend and coming and giving their time to help. Cause we can sign off on, not credits, hours, I mean, sorry.
Does anyone know who coordinates that now? I haven't known since Mary Ann did it.
You might wanna ask,
Okay,
because they're usually the person that I contact for like Emma's things.
yeah, okay,
Because she has Mrs. Clavelli, I think that's her name, Clavelli. And, so that's who we usually reach out and ask questions to, and they direct us in the right spot. But
Okay.
usually it's dependent on each class, so.
okay, great. For their class, what is it called, like their class teacher, that's it.
Yeah, I can't think of the term right now.
I'll be able to explain it.
Yes.
Who's the teacher that is linked to your class?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, cause they'll be the seniors when this rolls around, yep.
Yep.
Give them the pitch of you could get all your hours done, like right when school starts.
Yeah,
You
and
could-
if Lydia doesn't know, we could probably just reach out to Wendy Cook at the office, she's pretty.
That's
Okay.
what I was just texting her.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. What are they, so these are like
They're
the,
the juniors now.
but these are the extra credit hours or
The
volunteer hours?
volunteer hours, yeah, so there's 20 that they need everyone needs 20, and then NHS students need 40.
Yeah, Wendy lives about 3 houses down from me.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was just texting her.
And so for the ask, are we asking if we can sign off on those as
If we
opposed
can
to the
sign off,
board?
and then if we can, it would be kinda nice because it is, since it is a summer vacation event, if we can get something sent out, whether it's email or a newsletter, like a physical one sent home with students or via email to parents before the end of the school year,
Yeah,
just to let parents know that this is an opportunity for the students to get their hours.
How many kids are there roughly?
They're about 100-ish per class, yeah. Maybe a little less than that, maybe a little, yeah. All right. Anything else for Bath Fest that anyone has? All right, moving on. That was for Ben. So, anyways, we're saying, so Ben is interim fire chief now, so that's why he's not at the meeting, and he potentially won't be here for a little bit. But just Taylor let me know that today, so, I didn't know that yet, so that's why, so we'll probably take some things off that Ben usually does. From there, we'll probably leave the parks update, and Taylor or can probably help fill some of that in. So, the standing, we have one vacancy here, you know, if you know anyone and that would want to be on it, they are more than welcome, so. All right, new business. We've been waiting for everyone to be here to vote on officer positions, but now we're missing Dwight, so, I'm comfortable waiting till we're all here. If we want to vote on those, I'm also comfortable with that, based on who's here. Is there a preference from the committee?
I think Dwight would be fine if we just continued on
Yeah, I
as
do
well.
too.
Usually he always wants to be just a trustee, all the years I've done with him, so I think he would be okay with us continuing on if you wanted to, but it's okay if you feel more comfortable waiting. I don't think it's,
I don't think he'd mind either.
I'm okay to do it if we wanna do it. Alright, so we've got chair, vice chair, and secretary. So the way it usually works is you can self-nominate or someone else can nominate you. And we can start at the top and go from there. Seem reasonable?
sure.
Alright,
Well, I would nominate Adam for chair. He does a really good job.
Yep,
You didn't
second
know
that one.
alright. My current, appointment goes to the end of the year, so I am okay to do chair, through that appointment, if that makes sense. I think maybe we have to vote. Seems reasonable.
Sure, let's
I
vote.
don't think we
Do
need
it
a roll
together.
call. Just all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright,
Too bad you got it.
that's okay. That
That
is
is do
fine.
like a motion and a second in support of, or just,
Sure, that seems
so
reasonable.
Carolyn nominates, do
I
you get a
second.
second? Okay.
Alright. Yeah, that's a good idea to. Let me know when you're good.
I'm good.
Alright, vice chair, anyone want to self-nominate or nominate someone else?
Was there a vice chair before?
I don't know, I was trying to think about that, it was
I was-
Carolyn,
I was
okay.
vice chair.
Yeah,
I was fine with being it again,
okay,
So
So I'll
there's
make a-
but that
self-nomination?
feels really weird to
I'll
self-nominate.
nominate you.
Thank you,
okay, and I'll second,
thank you.
alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Alright. Secretary?
Oh, fine.
Fine. All in favor?
I'll
Fine.
nominate myself.
I would second that.
And it's the only notes that, or the only ones that are approved from the year so far, are the ones that you.
You're so good with the
My gift for
notes.
doing a job, right?
Yeah, alright, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Alright. Thank you all for not pushing that to another month. Although it ends up exactly the same as it was, so I guess.
I had a feeling that was gonna be the outcome. I didn't think that was really gonna change much.
Yeah, I think maybe I felt the same, which is sort of, I was like, let's just move it to the next month. Alright, one of the things that we had talked about was, reviewing the 5-year rec plan, and what we talked at the March meeting was having Ben talk about a specific part and then have a discussion around it. So that is not obviously something that we can do today. Are there any other ideas, or do we want to do that today in some capacity, or do we want to sort of talk through, since we know Ben is not going to be here potentially in the future?
Unless anyone had any like huge concerns, I think that knowing that Ben might not be here for a little bit, maybe I could reach out to him and talk to him and ask him, you know, like where we're at with the parks, like what, are there any updates he would like to include? And that way next meeting I could come back, and if he wasn't here present, I could at least, we could go through it and say, this is what's happening with this park, and kind of take a look at the plan at that point and see, like, are we meeting goals, are we headed that way, or where are we at? What could we do to improve, or how could we help?
So can you just catch me up on this bullet point? Obviously, I was not present the last meeting, and so could you just catch me up on what this is about?
Yeah, so Carolyn brought it up, and we thought it was a really good idea that, like, we have this 5-year plan, we have like descriptions of each of the parks, and then we have that list of like improvements and or needs, by park and then overall. And so what we were saying, or what Carolyn had just said, like, what if we took a park each month from that and sort of said like, all right, what were the goals of it? There's like a table in a section towards the back, right before the appendix, I think, like a table that is like, this meets goal 1 at this park, this meets goal 2, or this meets goal 5, and just sort of revisiting that and making sure that like we're thinking about what was asked in the 5-year and what like we were told in the 5-year plan, and then making sure that we weren't doing anything that was sort of not in line with that, but also saying like, are there things that we could do that were in line with those goals that aren't happening yet?
Plus it'll help us when it's time to redo that plan, so we have an idea, we're not just like freshly looking at it, and we have an idea like this is where we're at with this, we can cross this off the list, we can revisit our goals and numbers of where the most important things are.
I like that idea, if you're good to talk with Ben.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Alright. We are moving along. Last meeting was a long meeting. Alright, skipping staff report, we're skipped the township one, so James rec updates.
Well, spring break activities, the 31st to the 4th, went really well. Having different groups come in. We had 20 students registered, so they were very excited. Each day was great, and it was like science, bugs, animals, art, so it's real diverse.
Nice.
This past Saturday, we had our spring celebration egg hunt, which I thought that was a great term as well.
I drove by, like, on the way to run errands, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many people out, like, it looked awesome.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really good, and then partnering with the library and the volunteers, Carolyn's daughter, I mean, they were amazing. Everybody really worked together, and I think everybody that attended had a great time, so that was awesome to see.
Yes, you did a good job, not to interrupt you, but you did a great job planning that. There was tons of people there, and all the kids seemed to like have a lot of fun, and were enjoying all the activities, not just like the one, and so it was so fun. It was
Yeah.
great.
And the eggs were empty, so they would turn their eggs for a goodie bag, and I mean, you would think that there was diamonds in the egg.
I love it.
Yeah, it was really fun, so that was great.
Are you kidding me? George got a golden egg, and so
Oh.
George was ecstatic. He got a giant Lego kit thing, and he was, woo! Parker was jelly.
That was, I was sitting, I don't wanna keep us too long, but I was standing next to a young lady, and she was going through her goodie bag, and like 2 out of each age group had a golden egg in it. She's like, I got a golden egg, and, you know, just excitement, it was great. So,
Yeah.
it was really cool.
It was sunny too. That
Yeah.
was like, that was, yeah.
We lucked out with the weather. We have T-ball and Little Sluggers registration going now until April 30th. We have online registration through Rec Desk, and now also participants can pay online as well, so that's exciting.
We've been waiting for that for so long. Thank you
Yeah.
for being able to do that. That's awesome.
We have our 3D Archery League that's for 14 and up. That online registration is up and going now, and that league will start on May 21st. We also still have space available for our Puzzle Palooza, which will be on April 24th at the Senior Center for all ages, families. We have up to 9 teams. We have 4 right now, so we're looking for 5 more to get to that max number of teams. And the last day to register for that is April 20th. And also, we have the farmer's market coming up, so look, recruiting vendors for that and getting that set up, and looking forward to have a great season.
And do you have, for the farmer's market, while I think about that, you have contact info for, the vendors that were there last year?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, I reached out to them, and then we have some additional ones coming as well, so.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure that you knew, you had the, especially those that have been coming for lots of years, so. And have you talked to, Mike Ross at all? They come and do the music, or has anyone said anything to you?
The Market Maestros.
Yes.
Yes, so I'm looking, I have that on my notes, reach out to him as well.
Awesome.
And actually, I'll probably email you for a date that we can sit down and talk about cooking demos and
Okay, yeah,
get some suggestions, so.
cool, yep.
When does the market start?
May 29th,
First Thursday after Memorial. Yeah, right, first Thursday after Memorial, no,
or maybe the last Thursday.
yeah. Yes, the Thursday after Memorial Day, yep.
And also lastly, we're looking at, Carolyn, reached out, and we're looking to have working with the soccer club and do a movie in the park, June 6th, so we're working on getting a license for that and getting the movie set, and I think that would be a good family event, so thank you,
Cool.
Carolyn.
I'd just like to say you're doing an awesome job, like, thank you for the work that you're putting in, like, I want you to know it doesn't like go unnoticed, like, seeing all of the activities, like, moving towards online registration, like, doing additional things that we haven't had in the past, like Puzzle Palooza and like Movie in the Park, like, organizing the 5K, like, thank you very much for the work that you're doing here.
Thank you. I really appreciate working for the Bath Township, and I love the community and how everyone comes together and kind of supports one another, so it's great to be here, so thank you.
Glad you came.
Yes, James has been awesome. I reach out to him often, and he always answers my messages. And he also put together a sheet, and it's going out to kindergarten roundup, which is this week with the schools. And so he put together a thing with Taylor, listing all the programs, stuff like that. So that way, hopefully, it'll up our registration numbers for T-ball, Little Sluggers, for U6 soccer, and flag football, all those things. So it's great. We got that turned in today to the schools and stuff. So yeah, you're doing awesome.
Thank you.
All right, there's no public, so we're good there. Any report out from Board of Trustees?
Nothing new, just to get these flags up for our parades, and I think we can use them for everything, and get little sponsor tags on them is what I'm hoping to get. And if the board won't approve it, then we'll get sponsors first and do it anyway.
Well, yeah,
That's about it.
all right. Any other member comments?
Thank you both for taking the positions again. You guys are doing
Yes.
great.
Thank you as well. All right, so if there's nothing else, we can motion to adjourn at 6:36.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion to adjourn at 6:36.
When are we gonna start getting sponsors approaching, getting a list of who each one of us should go toward?